Moist Esports suffered the worst defeat this season in the second European regional. Psyonix revealed the new season rewards on Twitter, and people were angry about it. Again, today we'll be talking about this and a whole lot more about Rocket League and RLCS. My name is Anton, and you're watching This Week on Rocket League. This is of course the series where we take a look at all the crazy and stupid things that this game has had to offer during the past 7 days, and believe me, this game never fails to deliver. The editing really brought out the pure elegance of this clip, but now let's check out the news from this week. Psyonix have announced the new season rewards for Season 6. Oh no. Here we go again. This time, however, I think they're pretty good, but this is Rocket League, so about half of the players were absolutely furious. At this point, Psyonix could literally send everyone 20 bucks for their season rewards, and people would still complain that the bill looks exactly like the ones they already had. And I think Psyonix are in a tough spot here, since they can only make some of the people happy, or make no one happy. Personally, I think the rewards have been pretty good for the past 2 seasons. Now, only if we could get a map that wasn't just designed to look like the old one, but worse. But what do you think? Do you think these look good, or are these boring and unoriginal? But now moving on to the segment where nothing ever seems to make any sense, let's check out what's been happening in esports. The Tour de Rocket League Regional 2 wrapped up this weekend, and as always, Europe didn't disappoint. Let's start with the first round where, after dominating in the last regional, Solary was knocked down to the lower bracket by Vitality. Solary coach JG7 gave his team a pep talk before the next matchup though, and they rallied to a 3-1 win against Augiri. In the next round, they faced off against Endpoint, who experienced some major difficulties in the middle of the series as Archie's game started lagging, and if that wasn't enough, Relating Wave had a power cut in game 3, which meant that their coach Eclipse had to sub in for him, and if that wasn't enough, Eclipse also started lagging on top of that, but somehow Solary still lost to them. There's a lot they needed to explain to the fans after that one. And now back to keeping up with the Vitalities, and as mentioned before, Vitality beat Solary in the first round with a confident 3-1 victory. Is this finally going to be it for the Vitality meme era? 4th place in the last regional, and now they beat one of the most informed teams in Europe. Clearly it's a new era for the French giant. Well, that's just an unlucky matchup. Moist are just unstoppable right now. Well, at least I tried. Dignitas started off great with a sweep over 0-0 Nation. They then moved on to face Team Liquid in the next round, who, out of nowhere, turned into a top European team as they beat Evil Geniuses in the previous round, and now Dignitas. Dignitas then moved down to the lower bracket where they got completely annihilated by Luminosity. How is this the Dignitas we were promised? But this is the one we got. After beating Solary, Team Endpoint moved on to sweep Semper in the next round, which led Endpoint to then tweet out this violation. This image will never not be funny. Moist did what they do best and won against Augiri with a reverse sweep in the first round. They then won 3 in a row to take Vitality down and took all the momentum to face Team Liquid in the next round. What just happened? You can't just come into your second regional in over a year and do that. Moist then dropped down to play against Endpoint in the lower bracket, and it didn't get any better as Endpoint took a 3-0 lead straight off the bat after Metzenari scored this nasty dunk on Vatira.
Offensive prowess that we've become so used to seeing is almost a given. It'll be there as Metzenari.
That's very cool, but what the f is that? Shift then decided that it was a good idea to remind everyone on Twitter that Moist already had one reverse sweep under their belts this weekend, and even Metzenaris' new car design couldn't save them after that jinx. European Rocket League makes no sense. They went up to 35-9 on match point after that series. They're like the Rocket League equivalent of procrastinating on a huge school assignment and then just finishing the whole thing in one sitting. Not that I have experience with that. Moist's impressive match point record didn't help them in the next series though, as they lost to Carmine Corp in game 7 after a failed 3-1 comeback, which marked the first time the Moist roster failed to make an RLCS final since the beginning of the winter split. Carmine Corp then battled against Team Liquid, who were dropped down to the lower bracket by BDS in the upper bracket finals. Team Liquid won in the end though, after a 7-game thriller, and punched their way to their first RLCS final in nearly 2 years. They faced off against BDS again, and Team Liquid would now have to get the bracket reset against the French super team, and they already lost. It's not even fair anymore. Even Middle East and North Africa is more competitive than Europe now. Even G2 had to suffer a bracket reset before they won in the first regional. BDS haven't lost a single series this whole split. If they win the major without losing a single series, I will wear a beret for a month. I mean, the whole thing was obviously rigged. We all know who the real winners were. But before we move on to other regions, let's talk about some other European news first. After 2 fairly disappointing splits, Heroic have decided to release their Rocket League roster of ViolentPanda, Yukio, Noasaki, and and Coach Verge. After the announcement, ViolentPanda posted a tweet longer explaining some of the things he has been going through for the past 2 seasons. For the majority of season 10, he had extreme pain in both of his thumbs, which obviously made it very difficult for him to play and more importantly enjoy Rocket League. In the end, he was able to find a physiotherapist who could actually help him heal his injuries. This season, he has mainly been getting back to the grind and back to improving again, and after Heroic released them, he's now looking for a new team to start the next chapter in his career. Excited to see this legend of the game come back on the field stronger than ever. Speaking of top players looking for a team, Mark by 8 teamed up with Steak and Samu for the Gamers Without Borders 2022 Europe qualifier. Now, I'm actually fluent in Spanish, and Los Cartujas roughly translates to "Suck your mom BDS." Mark tweeted a couple weeks back that if he got 5,000 likes on his tweet, he would cut his hair. He of course got the 5,000 likes and got a new trim, which is cool, but I think he should have gone for the Ronaldo hairstyle to be honest. But now moving on to South America, where Furia Esports are back on top after beating both Crew Esports and Team Secret in Game 7s to get to the finals, where they then beat the club, whose real name apparently is the Stoner Ape Club. That would be a way better name. Detonator came out on top in Asia Pacific North as they successfully defended off a bracket reset from Tokyo Verde. Detonator's chances at making the World Championships are very slim however, as they would need about 400 points to catch up to Tokyo Verde. And last but not least, we have Sub-Saharan Africa, where Orlando Pirates XD suffered a bracket reset loss to Bravado Gaming in the finals. And with that, Bravado Gaming have now claimed the region's last World Championship wildcard spot. And tune in for the next Sub-Saharan regional, where no one can qualify for anything. And they say Rocket League isn't exciting. But now let's have a quick look at the regionals happening this weekend. North America will feature the limited time exhibition of some of the most boring esports logos I've ever seen. Stromboli has also been revived for the 3rd time, and this time they featured the former Charlotte Phoenix roster and a logo that is actually kinda good. Now, G2 has been the best performing North American team recently, but in a recent First Touch episode, Asphora gave this pretty convincing slideshow on why FaZe is actually the best team in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why FaZe is the best team in the world, regardless of results. Look at typical. First but not last, first killer. I mean, he's the best player in North America. The world. Let me correct that. The world. Look at him going. Up, oh, diagonal, to the right, left, up, down. That's like him on the pitch. I mean, look at these stats. Shot percentage, 34.29. Goal participation, 86.67%. 591. Give him an MVP medal already, please. Last but not least, FaZe up, baby. Thank you for coming to my presentation.
Over in Oceania, these are the teams that will be taking part in the last regional of the season. Ground Zero will be playing against their former team, now playing for Power in the first round. Renegades, Pioneers, and Power will be fighting over who gets the 2 major qualification spots in the region, and Renegades are in danger of missing their first major of the season. Over in Middle East and North Africa, 01 Esports and Velo Che, apparently, will be fighting for the region's last World Championship spot. Whoever survives longer will get the spot. Moving on to Asia Pacific South, where 1620 Kings are only 847 points behind Gaming Gladiators in the World Championship qualification. This is about as competitive as Europe right now. The European Esports Federation hosted the European Esports Championship in Azerbaijan this week. There was no Germany or France or even England, but there was a team from the tiny city-state of Monaco who had an amazing goal differential of 1-82, 21-0. That's like when Dignitas played against a team of bronzes, but that's enough about people who actually know how to play the game. Now let's look at people who probably lost like 10 ranked games in a row trying to get the new season rewards, and definitely isn't me. Let's check out what the community has been up to. I can't believe Harry Maguire actually started playing Rocket League. Admirable ad 3254 took inspiration from Chauset this week as he made this incredible play in a 3v3 match. The ball wasn't even going towards the net. Now, Rocket League servers are just perfect, and MonthlyCuber played in this 2v2 match, which, in my opinion, was completely normal. Sure, there's a little bit of flag, but that's just part of the game. Stop blaming the game when you just don't know how to play. But now it's that time of the week again. You already know what I'm talking about. It's time for a clip of the week. As mentioned before, the clips are now voted on by the members on Discord, so if you want to have a say on who makes the top 5, there's a link in the description. But without further ado, let's check check out some honorable mentions. First up, we have SneakyNarNar, whose opponent made quite possibly the greatest save I've ever seen. Rocco scored this penta flip reset in training. Then Mirska scored this super clean double tap in a 2v2 match. Deek scored this insane turtle flick in a 1v1 match. Centrix decided to take the game into his own hands when a 2v2 match was tied 3-3 with 10 seconds left. And before we reveal the top 5, Aviator scored this musty flick double tap to take the lead in a 3v3 match.
Oh my.
And now let's move on to the top 5. These have been voted for by the Discord members. Let's start with Jed, who sauced down his opponent in a 1v1 match with this ceiling pogo shot. Rituality scored this crazy freestyle goal in a private match. Feras ended his opponent's whole career with this double musty flick in a 1v1 match. Rocco is back with another even better clip, and this time he scored this team pinch no bounce psycho shot in a private match. And last but not least, we have Void, who actually got the most votes this week on Discord, but will he win the YouTube vote? He scored this triple flip reset in a 2v2 match. I just want to let you know that I also got a flip reset the other day. It might have been an accident, and I might not have even touched the ball with the flip, but I think I have potential to be a freestyler one day. But that's the top 5. As always, there will be a poll on the channel where you can vote for your favorite one to win the 500 credit prize. The person with the most votes within 24 hours will be the winner. But that's it for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for 6,000 subscribers. That is in fact more people than you can fit in a Toyota Corolla. But as always, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, check out this video or check out this playlist. Follow me on Twitter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.